I'm not gonna lie, the society that we live in is very, very materialistic. It seems to just value things incredibly highly, and I think we've been made, our brain has been altered by the things we've seen throughout our lives to think that way. And somehow, I am not the most materialistic person. I still value, there are things that I value that can be bought with money that exist in the world. But I feel like there are people out there that seem to value things so sort of highly. They'd value like having a nice posh handbag because it gives them some sort of status. Because they're so insecure about something inside of them, the past trauma that they're repressing, that they have to feel valued externally by other people because they can't value themselves. And the only way that they seem to be able to do that is by presenting themselves as someone that's high status or something. They have to have the nice watch, the nice car, because there's something inside of them that just won't stop bugging at them for like being the way they are, and they have to just be able to validate. They have to get the validation from other people because they seem to not be able to validate themselves. Which, there were obviously, if you want a nice watch, you want a nice watch. If you want to just buy it, and there isn't really any traumatic or subconscious emotional attachment to it, and that's honestly fine. But part of me thinks that we want the nice watch, we want the nice car as well, because we seek external validation. Even if we don't have any sort of trauma or insecurities, we just want to feel valued by other people, and that's a like normal logical response, you'd think. Whether you want to just buy the watch because you want to buy the watch, that's a bit of an irrelevant and different scenario. You're going to have traumatic responses where you want to buy it so you feel valued because you can't seem to validate yourself, and you're also going to just want to be validated because you just want to be validated. That seems fair enough personally to me, but I just don't feel like I've been affected by this societal thing, this sort of whole social conditioning and indoctrination where we must have things to be high status. It's not the thoughts in our head that count, according to the media and according to society. You have to have the nice things, you have to have the fancy stuff to be valued among the elites. It's not like who you are as a person, the insides, the emotional capacity that you have or anything like that, the social skills, the emotional intelligence, anything else that matters. It's just the material things, and I just never seem to have agreed with that. But also, I haven't necessarily disagreed with it. Some part of me would love to just sort of be the guy that's in the nice suit and like just be chilling and look cool. Part of me obviously would like to do that because that just seems quite badass, and that just seems like quite a nice normal thing to do. That's like buying the watch because you want the watch, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I just don't think I agree with the sheer obsession over material possessions. It just doesn't seem to matter to me how nice your clothes are when you're chilling in your bedroom doing some research, or you're editing a video, or you're going to the gym, or you're going on a walk. Doesn't ever occur to me how nice my clothes are. And I think that maybe I'm over exaggerating, but I think in some places this is definitely an issue where people will overthink about their appearance so much that it just becomes such a big hindrance. But I'm really hoping that for the majority of people, you're going to be like, yeah, this just makes normal sense. This is logical sense, right? I don't really know if there's not really much new stuff that I'm saying here, I hope you think. But part of me thinks that the society we live in is so material that it just seems like too big of an issue to ignore. The whole sort of basis that the world economy lives on basically is based off of material possessions. But obviously some of that's going to be needs, like food and stuff, right? But there's also going to be things such as just having a really posh handbag that costs £2,500 that because someone's made £2,500 off of that, and that's now circulating in the economy because you bought it. It just doesn't seem to make all that much sense to me. I don't disagree with it. I don't agree with it. But it's like some part of me would be like, yeah, sitting in a nice suit in a random place would be pretty cool. No, I'm not going to lie. But at the same time, just material society doesn't seem to also fit me. I'd love to just live in a farmhouse that's decently sized. No, I don't want to live in a shack, for crying out loud. As much as I wouldn't really care all that much about that, I'd like to personally set my aspirations a little bit higher personally, and maybe just, I don't know, 2-3 story, and it's got maybe 4 or 5 bedrooms, something like that. I don't know how the whole thing works. I'm probably a bit too young for that anyway. But the thing that I'd like most is land and farming. I want to live a life where I don't really have to rely on the whole society anyway. I want to just be able to grow my own food, and that would be pretty cool. Rear my own sort of cattle and do all that stuff, and just have a nice chilled life and not really have to give it like toss about anything that exists in the other areas of society, the other areas of the country, and just live my own life and not be influenced. Be independent rather than interdependent on the whole system. Not that the whole system exists, but you can kind of see the way that life lives. I personally just would hate to live in a city, because it's just it's based off of the whole thing where you get a job, you rent, and then when you're old enough, you get a house. It's like, I just want to move out, maybe rent for a bit, and just try to work towards not the aspiration of living in a nice suburban place, but just living in a farmhouse that it's like a nice house, and you have a lot of land to do that however the hell you want. Just living the kind of life. I feel like a lot of people would agree with me on that, but some people would just be absolutely over their heads with thinking that I'm an absolute idiot for saying something like that. Maybe they're not the kind of people that would be watching this video anyway, but part of me feels that some people are just so obsessed with some sort of material lifestyle and material possessions, and they genuinely place their self-worth on that sort of stuff. They genuinely feel like someone that has the nicer suit, as I stated as an example, is like a better person. That is so screwed up to me. Sure, I'd like to sit in a nice suit because it would just feel nice and badass and cool or whatever, but I wouldn't say that I'm better than every other person in the room because I have the nicest suit. That seems so wrong, and I don't want anyone else to think that because someone else has the nicer suit in the room, whether that is objective or subjective or whatever, I don't want them to feel like they're a better person because of it. I feel like basing someone's self-worth off of material possessions is just a wrong thing to do. I've gone on a bit of a rant, but I've always been a bit minimalist, but I think that's the word, but I just don't have much of a care. I won't wear the nice hoodies or the nice stuff when I'm recording a YouTube video, or when I'm just at home, I've been studying, or I've been editing a video, or I'm just walking around the house just eating food or something like that, making a meal. I'm not going to care what kind of clothes I'm wearing. If I'm doing that, I'm going for comfort. I'm going to wear the nice like hoodies that are fluffy and stuff. It's cold. I'm not going to wear like the nice t-shirt that's muscle fit and stuff so you can see all the insertions that I have on my body. I don't really feel the need to show that off. So yeah, I feel like I've got what I wanted to say out of my brain to do with the way society works and how material it is. But with that, I recommend subscribing because I like this community of young, troubled people who are willing to improve themselves so much more than you already have, and good luck.